Hey y'all, it's James here at the Board Game Spotlight in Druid City Games, and today we're looking at Master of the Galaxy from Ares Games. This is their new game coming to Kickstarter, and it is a 4X type game with some bag building, hand management situation. So let's just dive right in. So if you are starting on your home planet system here, you can see that there's these different paths to the other planets. And it's very important, the different planets that you have in a system. That's going to determine how many bases you can build. Your bases that you can build are based off of the species that you get. At the beginning of the game, you're going to draw 2 of those, and then you're going to choose the one that you want to keep. Now, the whole system of the game is based off the the cubes that you're pulling out of your bags. So everybody's going to seed their bag with 5 of each of the colors. And so that's what that's going to look like. So you're going to start with 25 in the bag. And so on each turn, you're going to reach into your bag and you're going to draw out 3 cubes. If I can get my hand to come out of this bag one-handed, it is a lot harder than it looks. So I have a yellow, a blue, and a black. Now, the way that we can use these is you can match them on your card to fulfill certain things. So here we're trying to build, this helps us build bases. So I need 2 red. Well, I didn't draw any red, so not helpful. Here, I need 4 blue, and I can get a new card. Those are, I could pick between commerce, expansion, or progress. They all have different scenarios that's going on, and so like this one allows me to, once I've put down the 2 green, the 2 blue, I'll get both of these supremacy symbols, and then I get this ability. When you complete a base construction project, you may leave any 2 resources on the slots of the project. Pretty helpful. Other options are over there too as well. So, but what I have here are these 3. And so I could place these on my card in any way I want. So if I wanted to put this blue here, I could start working on getting one of those cards. Or if this is my home base, I could settle one of these planets, and then that would let me seed my bag with those colored cubes. Now you only get 2 if you don't match colors. So I would get 2 blue that I could seed into my bag if I chose to do that. But let's assume that I want to be efficient. Yellow planets, yellow cube. I could put 3 yellow cubes. But maybe I don't need yellow cubes. It depends on what you're trying to get into your bag to help your chances. The other thing you can do is you can start working your way toward a new system. And so you've got these paths that are here that you can see. So I can play yellow or green, either one here. I could play yellow or red, or I could go yellow or blue. Now, once you start building a path, you have to stick to the color. So if I put my blue cube there and I put my yellow here, then I have to finish that out. So I'm gonna need to try to get more yellow and more blue. Well, there are 3 specific ways on how to win. So we'll cover those real quick. Expansion victory. So if you build 9, if all 9 of your space station discs are on the board, you win. If you get 5 supremacy symbols of the same type, you win. Or if you take over someone else's home base, and we'll get to conflict in a minute. But so here, let's say that I was able to, I've got my 1 home base. Let's say during the game I drew out my 2 red, and I got this space station built. Now, once you can only have 1 in the slot. So once you've done that, this goes away. One would go back into the bag, and 1 would go back to the supply, because anytime you see this little, it consumes the resource. So here I would get to put 3, once I completed it, 3 blue would go back in the bag, 1 would get consumed. And so now that's ready to be deployed. So here I could, on my turn, I could build go up my authority, I think that's what they call, reinforce your authority on that home base. You can only do that up to 3, and you can only do it based off the planets. So here, there's 3 planets, I could put 3. Here, there's only 2 planets in the system, so I can only put 2. And this one is a single. So you see that the ones that are more valuable are harder to get to, and they can have more bases. So that's one way to win, right? I can branch out to these few places, get those going. You'll also see that once you own certain systems, they also give you additional supremacy symbols. So if you can get control of this one and this one, you would get the dove supremacy symbol. And if you can get this one and this one, then you get this star. And so once you have those, if you get 5 of any one type, you win the game. So you start with, like, the yellow player starts with the fusion. Well, the particular species that I've got, I could get 2 of these globes and 1 of the triangle. So if I could get these 6 filled, then I might be looking for cards that have more, or connections that have more of the globe symbol. I don't really have any of that over in my corner, so that might be when I'm picking my species, I might go, oh, I'd rather have this instead of the Zong species, because now I already own 1 there, and if I can get this filled up with 6 red, then I'll get those 2. Then I'll have 3. Then I just need to find 2 more of those somewhere else. So throughout the game, whenever you place like 1 home base, you get a leader card. And your leader card typically has this 1 action ability that you can fulfill and typically take something off of somebody else's board. They also sometimes have 1 to 2 supremacy symbols and then an ability. So this guy, he lets you transfer up to 3 resources from one of your projects to another. Pretty helpful stuff. Then you have government cards that also are, or when you hit a 3rd home base, you get a government, and so they're even more powerful. So they have a way to instantly keep getting certain kind of, like this one gets you progress cards, and then also this one gets you a specific type of card. Then your constructed bases are considered already placed for the purposes of expansion win condition. Very nice. So here, if you just get this one built on your 9th one, you're going to win. You don't have to actually put it on the board. Conflict. Let's talk about conflict for a second. So anytime you own a base, so let's say that we had worked our way to here and we own this one, but we didn't, or another player owned this one. You can, once you've got a conflict card at your disposal, you can lay it down and start a conflict between systems. Now the way this works is you choose the reward. And so for here, if you win, and these are the cubes that you've got to put in to win, you could get another conflict card. But if the other side wins, if you're going against a uninhabited solar system, then no one's going to be placing anything. If you go against another player, then they have a chance to also fill those in as well. And this is the reward that they would get. You also get a finished reward. As long as you are in control of the conflict, you have control over the supremacy symbol. Once it's gone, this one actually goes away. So this is kind of a sneaky way. If you wanted to get, if I needed to get 1 more, like I was looking for these fusion, I could put 1 cube. As long as I'm in the lead, I'm going to have that fusion. So now I've got 1, I've got 2. If I fill this up, I've got 3, 4. I just need to find 1 more fusion symbol from somewhere else. Maybe I can connect here and here, and then I'll have 5, and I can get a win condition that way. So a lot to think about as far as that's concerned. And then, like I said, you've got these 3 different types of progress cards that you can get. So they all have different abilities and give you different attributes. The main gig of the game is really seeding your bag for what you need. You are at the mercy of your bag and what you pull out on your 3, but you can augment that luck based off of the cards that you draft and your strategy on the board. We found the game really fun. You know, it did get a little confusing with the supremacy track. That was probably the hardest thing to keep up with because you couldn't really tell what other players had. But I have talked to Aries, and I think that is one of the things that they will be adding to the game in the Kickstarter. And so that was one of our issues that it sounds like they're already going to be addressing. But as far as like you know, seeding your bag and trying to build out your strategy and deciding where the cubes want to go, it's a very interesting, fun little game. I feel like it gives you that 4X experience in a much shorter time frame. So that's it. This is Master of the Galaxy from Aries Games, and if this looks like something you want to get, check it out on Kickstarter, and I believe it launches on the 18th. All right, guys, this was James with Kickstarter Board Game Spotlight and Dread City Games. So subscribe to us for more videos. See you next time. Bye.